Hey guys, it's Aaron from Got a Minute. Pick Jesus, bro. And everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Jesus Christ for you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Give thanks with a grateful heart. I am thankful for Jesus. Oh yeah. So look, what we're gonna do is this. I'm going to basically play you my Samson Riddle video again. It's a video I did like a month ago. We're gonna put it here because what I've got here is the cherry on top. I think what we're doing here is we're tying the knot with the Samson Riddle. I'm looking at this summer in general with the star constellations, but let's go ahead and get you reading the Bible, and then we're gonna get back to what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so here is the video right here. Bam, and we'll talk after the video. Okay. Hey guys, it's Aaron from Got a Minute, and I have to say I'm pretty excited about this, but I've got so much thoughts and information that I'll do my best to explain my thoughts, and I think we're going to stay on this theme for a while. The sun is in the beehive cluster, and it's also in the mouth of Leo the lion in the constellation, basically late July, early August, okay? But the story and how it relates to the scriptures and how it looks in the stars is really exciting. So Samson's riddle is very interesting, and I think this might actually relate to the rapture and our timing of departure. Not quite sure. There's a lot to say, but I just want to, I guess I have to start slow here and just give you some numbers, and we're going to talk more about a lot of these themes. I'll do the best I can here. Now in Judges 14, 15, and 16, we've got the riddle in Judges 14. Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet. Now he kills a lion. There's honey that comes out of it. There's lots to say there. But you see these 30s? In verse 13, but if you cannot explain it to me, then you shall give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. So basically, right here, I'm going to give you 30 linen. You're going to give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. So we've got a 30 and a 30. Basically, to translate this is almost like saying 30 pieces of underwear and 30 t-shirts in a way, okay? But what a weird deal to make. So right off the bat, he's got 30 this and 30 that. So there's your 30s right there. So that's kind of looking at a 30-30. And look, we got to try and fit in a millennial reign, right? So there's your 30-30 right there in the story, in the riddle of this thing. But now keep in mind, he actually gets the honey out of the lion before this 7-day feast. So there's your 7. We're waiting for a 7-year tribulation. So there's your 7 right there in the story. And then what happens? The story continues. They try and solve the riddle. They can't really do it. They plow with this heifer. He says, you would have not solved my riddle if you hadn't plowed with my heifer. And then he goes and kills 30 people. So there's your other 30 right there. So we've got 30 garments. I'm going to come and kill you. And here's your 7-day feast, right? And then later on, we've got 300 foxtails and we've got this 3,000 count, which also is down here, this 3,000 count, because if 30 AD was the cross, then exactly 3,000 years from that would be 30-30 after the millennial reign. So, and this is Judah. So this is another thing. This is another crazy thing about this whole story. Like I said, I got a lot to say. I apologize if I'm all over the place, but in Judges 15 verse 9, now the Philistines went up and camped in Judah and deployed themselves against Eliah. And the men of Judah said, "Why have you come up against us?" So they answered, "We have come up to arrest Samson, to do to him as he has done to us." Then 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cleft of the rock. So basically, they tied up Samson and handed him over to the Philistines. So here we go. We got a Judah in the book of Genesis that sells a type of Christ for 20 pieces of silver, which was Joseph. We've got a Judah in the New Testament that sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. So we got a 20 and a 30 with Judah. And now we have a Judah handing over a type of Christ, Samson in the story, to the Philistines. And how many? It says 3,000 that I just read there. Then 3,000 men of Judah went down. And then later on, we've got the 1,000 count. He killed 1,000. It looks like, I think it's he killed about 1,000 of the Philistines when they come up against him, right? So there's your 1,000 count in this whole riddle, in this whole story. And then at the end of this chapter, how long did he judge Israel? And he judged Israel 20 years. So there's your 20. There's your 20. There's the 7-year tribulation. 2023. Here we are. Here we are in the season. You guys get what's going on here. All these numbers are in basically Judges 14 and 15. But the story doesn't end there. Then Delilah comes onto the scene, and there's 7 fresh bows in 16 verse 7. Okay, so there's another 7, confirming that. And then it says 7 locks of hair in verse 13. And so there you go. There's another confirmation of a 7. And then eventually he kills 3,000 men in the pillar. So there's another confirmation of the 3,000. So can you see what I'm seeing here? The math is pointing to right now, this season. Like, this is really cool. Now, I've got so much other information here, but Samson, you know what Samson means? It means like the sun. Samson means like the sun. Are you kidding me? Like the sun? And like I just said at the beginning of this video, the sun is in Leo in the lion, and it's in the crab, basically this season. It's going to be there basically July, August kind of thing. And the sun looks like honey. And the Bible describes Jesus like the sun in Psalm 19 and in Malachi 4 verse 2 and in Revelation 1 and in Revelation 21 and in John 8. He's always, basically he's the sun, or he's the light of the world. And so on the 4th day, God created light. And also on the 4th day, Jesus came and died on the cross. And so Samson means like the sun. And so here we got this perfect like riddle from Judges 14 through 16. If you go read it all slowly and pick all those numbers out, you're going to see what I see with all these number connections. And not only that, we have more connections. We have Daniel defeats the lion, and he comes out of the lion's den in Daniel 6. But you know what? You know what was the decree? If anybody worships another... let me just get my thing here. Another king, then he should be put to death. And how many days was it? It was 30. I'm just going to write this down. 30. It was 30. And another 30 connections. That's Daniel. How old was David when he started to reign in Hebron? He was 30. He was 30. And how long did they go for? They went. He reigned for 40 days and 40 nights. Remember, there's about 40 Jubilee cycles from 30 to 2030. So David reigned for 40. So there's your Jubilee cycles from 2030. Sorry, from 30 AD to 2030. And then there's another 40. What was it again? I just said David reigned for 40. Oh yeah, Goliath taunted them for 40 days. So there's your other 40-day cycle. Also, I know this is not a number thing now, but this is another connection. Okay, so Samson kills a lion, right? David, which I just talked about, kills a lion. Daniel conquers the lion. So there, we got 3 lion stories. We got Daniel is saved from the lion's den. In verse 23 of chapter 6 in Daniel, so Daniel overcomes the lion. Samson overcomes the lion. David overcomes the lion. And then all these numbers are intertwined with these 3 stories. Isn't this cool? And then we've got a Leo, the lion, and Jesus is from the lion of Judah, but he's the Lion of Judah that's going to open the scrolls. So I hope this makes sense. This is real something here. I think this is amazing, actually. I don't think the numbers can lie. I think this is incredible. I don't know what else to say other than I hope this makes sense to you. And I think I'll be talking about this. Well, I know I'll be talking about this stuff way more the next couple days, weeks as we get on here. So plain and simple, of course, we can get raptured now, month of June. Of course we can. But man, all the stars and how it lines up with the timing, it all seems to point more to July season or even early August. I've talked about some timelines and stuff the last week or two about how we've got 7.5 prophetic years back from Hanukkah of 2030, and we've done some math. We pointed at things in July, but now the sun physically being in the lion, which how it relates to this whole riddle, and how sun looks like honey, and even how bees. Just the whole study of bees is another thing too, because bees, they follow a queen, they make honey. It's sweet. Just like Ezekiel, we've got Ezekiel. He's eating the scroll, and it's sweet like honey, and then it's bitter in the stomach. And then we've got Revelation 10, same thing, sweet as honey. I might not say honey, but you get the idea. Sweet like honey and bitter to the stomach. And Jesus, when he comes back in the book of Luke, in the last couple of verses in Luke, he's eating a honeycomb. Another thing too is John was born 6 months before Jesus, and he's eating locusts and honey. And there's that 6-month window once again when we're talking about the 7.5 year kind of timeline here. So my goodness, there is a lot here. There's a lot of math. There's a lot of interesting, perfect connections here. So I'm actually pretty excited about what I'm seeing here. And I hope I've said enough to kind of get you excited as well. I know that this video, there's a lot said, and we'll have to go through it slower and show you some stuff on Stellarium, maybe on a live stream, and show you how it's all kind of connecting with this story. Cancer is the constellation before Leo, and the center of Cancer, it's called the Beehive Cluster. It's perfect. So the sun is basically in the Beehive Cluster in this time, and then it approaches the mouth of Leo, the lion. Another cool thing is the name Deborah means bee, and Deborah is in the book of Judges a few chapters before this whole story. So there is a lot to talk about on these themes. But I think the core of it comes from Samson's riddle and how all the numbers make sense. So I don't know. Hope that that inspires you a bit. And yeah, Samson is a type of Christ as well in these stories. David is a type of Christ, and again, all these numbers make sense. Daniel was not in the lion's den. Daniel was not in the fiery furnace. He wasn't present there during the time of when the furnace was heated up 7 times. And he did escape, again, in verse 23. And then Darius honors God at the end of that chapter, and he's talking about the heavens. He points to the word heavens, which kind of means the stars, So, again, there's a lot to say, and again, I hope this encouraged you more than confused you, but we'll talk about this more thoroughly as we go, okay? God bless. One day closer, seeing the clouds. Please get tight with Christ, looking like we're going soon. Okay, take it easy. Bye. Okay, so we're back, and we are now going to talk about the cherry on top, or tying the knot. So, Bible again. So, all that information is awesome. We've got all these numbers connecting to the timeline. It looks perfect. So, tying a knot is a term used for, are you getting married? Are you did you tie the knot yet? So I even said to my sister the other day, hey, congrats on tying the knot. She got married. And funny enough, Judges chapter 14 is about Samson getting a wife. It's about, he got married. He was, it says, where does it say this? But his father and mother did not know that it was of the Lord that he was seeking an occasion to move against the Philistines. So he was basically, it's all about Samson's wife in chapter 14 in the riddle. So he basically tied the knot. But here's the thing. There is, now a Strong's number is we're not going to pick a Rapture date or a Rapture season off a Strong's number. But this is why I'm calling it the cherry on top, or the tying of a knot. The cherry on the top is just an extra added fun thing, but it's not the core thing. But when you add this on top, this is so cool. Are you ready? There are 8,674 Hebrew Strong's Concordance numbers. Strong's Concordance numbers are basically like an identification number for every word used in the Old Testament. The Old Testament is Hebrew, and the New Testament is Greek. And so we've attached some numbers beside them, and so take it for what it is. But anyway, the most perfect number to put in this Samson riddle, because we've already got this connection to 2030. We've got this connection with 3030. We have a 7-day banquet feast in Judges 14. Let me read that. Then Samson said to them, let me pose a riddle to you. If you can correctly solve and explain it to me within 7 days of the feast, etc., etc. I just said it in my video. So we got it all. It's all there, but we didn't really see the 23. But if you were to attach a Strong's number to this riddle, the strongest number to attach to this riddle would be 2330, because 23 would say the year 2023, and 30 would be the number for 2030. So if we were to see a Strong's number 2330, that would be perfect. Well, guess what? It's in this riddle. When the word to put forth a riddle is H2330. The Strong's number is H2330 to oppose a riddle. It's only in the Bible 4 times, and it's in Judges 14 3 times. It's in Ezekiel 17 when it's talking about another riddle. And to oppose a riddle, it means to tie a knot or to put forth a riddle. So you've got a 23 and you've got 30. I don't know if I should be doing it the other way. 23, 30. I don't know if I'm looking at this video the right way, but 23 and 30 to put forth a riddle. 2330. H2330. Is that not cool, or is that not cool? It's cool. It's just cool. There is 8,674 Hebrew words. So basically what I'm saying is the chance of this number being in the exact spot that it really needs to be is 1 in 10,000, more or less. Something like that. Okay, just generally the odds of it are extremely low. It's very exciting. Now, we're not picking the season off of Strong's number again, and we don't know for sure. But if I'm God, I would allow this to orchestrate in such a way at such a time. I think this is so fascinating. So take it for what it's worth. I think it's so fun. It's very cool. And we've got this whole picture in the stars with the sun and the moon, the new moon in the mouth of Leo the lion in mid-August. We've got the sun in the beehive cluster late July. And to add to this, we have Jupiter right at the head of Cetus. So Jupiter, which I would consider the man-child, because of the Revelation 12 sign, Jupiter is basically under the Lamb for the next year or so, but also above the head of Cetus. And we look at Revelation. This was passed to me by Matt, just to remind me. Thanks, Whack. Yeah. So it says, Revelation 12 verse 3, and another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 diadems on his head. Cetus has 7 stars, basically, in his head. Could that represent Cetus? Very, very possible. Very, very possible. So we've got we've got Jupiter over the head of Cetus, under Aries, the lamb. At the same time, we've got Leo the lion. We've got the bear, which relates to a lot of prophetic things as well, just above there. Bears like to eat honey. The sun being in the beehive cluster. What's that behind me? Is that a bee? No, that's a moth. Darn it. Okay, I thought that was a moment there. Anyway, it all lines up really well, but the big thing about this video was just highlighting the most perfect strong number and placement of the strong number is H2330, which means tying a knot, in the chapter where Samson's giving a riddle about honey and about a wife, and they're plying with his heifer and all this kind of stuff. There you go. And I'll probably make another video too, but looking at the Bible backwards, like a mirror image of it. So if you were to go in the 8th book and the 7th book, at the beginning of the Bible is, you got Ruth and you got the book of Judges. Ruth is about a marriage, and Judges, the last chapter, 21, is about a marriage, the tribe of Benjamin gathering and snatching brides, basically. So you can see, what I'm saying is, you could see prophecy coming this way, and you could see prophecy coming that way. If you look at a mirror, you can see it the opposite direction. So it's like a mirror image. There's there's patterns all over the place. So you can see the rapture going that way, and you can see the rapture going that way, and so if you look at the Bible going backwards, Ruth to Genesis, and we have a 7-year tribulation. think of this as a marriage just before the 7-year tribulation. So Ruth would be just before the 7-year tribulation, if you're looking at it as a mirror image. And then the very first thing you would see in Judges, at the very end of Judges 21, is a marriage. Is a very, a lot of marriages going on. You know, like a public, a lot of people kind of thing. So we got a marriage in Ruth and a marriage in Judges, 7 books before Genesis. Coming back to Genesis, if that makes sense. I might talk about this more thoroughly in another video. But, okay, I've said a lot. Strong's 2330, tying the knot right in the riddle area. Let's go. Get tight with Christ. This is fun. I love it. If we don't fly, oh well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You keep on studying God's Word. It's fun. Love you. Bye. Take it easy. Go, Jesus, go.
Hallelujah, I'll see you.